Today, we're going to be talking about a little bit of a post-game show. The Montreal Canadiens had their first preseason game. It was fun to finally see the Montreal Canadiens, some of the players that we've heard of all preseason, all summer, all spring, to be honest, hit the ice. Players like Lane Hudson, players like Patrick Laine, players like Kirby Dach. We're looking forward to seeing them. The first period was an interesting one. There was a lot of penalties. Montreal had to face 8 minutes of penalties, and they killed all of those off. They did have an opportunity on a 5-on-3 power play as well. It was an interesting power play. They had Lane Hudson out there with Kirby Dach and Newhook and Laine, and they had Josh Anderson as well. There was a few opportunities. I think one of the cool parts of the first period was watching Patrick Laine take the puck deep in his own end and start skating down the ice end to end, beat a couple of defenders. The fans, you can tell, were kind of roaring. It was an exciting start to his career in Montreal. It was a 0-0 first period, lots of chances both sides. I thought Caden Primo played a great game in nets, or half a game, I guess you can call it. And so we didn't have a goal until the second period. The second period, we saw a goal by Luke Tuck. Luke, I've been following Luke for some time in Boston University. He played with Lane Hudson on that team for a couple of years, and obviously before that as well. He's the brother of Alex Tuck. For those of you that don't know Alex, he plays for the Buffalo Sabres. A power forward. He definitely looked the part. Davidson made a great play for checking and turning over the puck, and Luke Tuck got the open chance and put it away. It was a good way to start the scoring for Montreal. There was a goal in the first period that went in, but from behind the net on Primo. We didn't have replays in preseason. Otherwise, this shutout that the game turned out to be 5-0, but the shutout probably would have been a little bit different, and who knows. But that being said, Caden Primo played a great period and a half, and then Dobish came in the second part of the game and held his own. The third period opened up for sure. It was fun to watch David Savard score a goal. I kind of mentioned to some of my friends that, we think of all these other players that are going to get opportunities to score with Lane Hudson on the ice with them. But if Lane Hudson plays with David Savard all year, David Savard's going to have a ton of opportunities. So that being said, I'm not surprised that David Savard scored anymore, and I won't be surprised if he scores more. He has an interesting offensive, it's sneaky offensive skill set that could come into effect a little bit more this year, especially if he's playing with Lane Hudson, who's just he didn't disappoint. I mean, I remember in the first period he set up Devo with pretty much an open pass through the slot. And I think he was surprised. There was a couple of passes he made to Patrick Laine as well. And I just think once these players get a chance to play with Lane Hudson for a little while, they'll be better prepared to receive a pass from him. And once they do that, I think the puck's going to just go in. And obviously players like Slafkovsky, Caulfield, and even Suzuki weren't on the ice today. They had the day off. And if they have the opportunity to play with Lane Hudson and get these opportunities, I can't see them not putting the puck in the net. So it was very exciting to see Lane Hudson. It was very exciting to see Patrick Laine. It was great to see Josh Anderson put the puck in the net and Joshua setting him up. Joshua is definitely an elite playmaker, smart hockey player. I think the biggest surprise for me, and it's not really a surprise if you guys have been listening to the last few episodes, is Oliver Kapanen. I was able to watch him in some of the, preseason or rookie or development games, I guess you can call them. And he looked great out there in the training camp. But today I just got an extra level of respect for the player. He reminds me of Sebastian Aho, or he has a little bit of Lehkonen in him. He has a little bit of Mitch Marner in him. Obviously, those are huge ceilings. I'm not saying he's that player, but he's a very interesting he's a very interesting prospect, and Canadians are lucky to have him. I think he's the kind of player that can play in the top six, middle six for sure, and he's a center. He's got tremendous skill. He's really strong at possession. He won a few faceoffs. That line of Emil Henneman, Barre Boulet, and him looked awesome. I don't believe Oliver Kapanen will stick around in Laval if he doesn't make the Canadians. So, but if he did, a line of Oliver Kapanen, Emil Henneman, and Alex Barre Boulet in the AHL would be a sick first line. There's other players like Beck and Mishar and others that are, and Tuck for that matter, that are trying to, crack the lineup that may not. The issue is really the professional contracts, the NHL contracts that they have already with Evans and Dvorak, and just where would Kapanen fill in? The other issue is that, if he doesn't make this squad, he's most likely not going to be in Laval, is what I'm hearing, and he's probably going to go back to Finland to play out in the Finnish Elite League, like he has for the last couple of years. you know, we'll see how it goes. It's only the first preseason game. There's 5 more to go. I'm sure he'll get some more opportunities. But my first impression of that player is just tremendous. Heineman looked great, great assist, a great goal. Barry Boulet, showed what he could do as well. It was a good game for the Montreal Canadiens, a good first, impression to the Montreal fans. It was fun to see Lane. It was fun to see Doc play. I still think they have to work on some of the chemistry there. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of Newhook on that line. That being said, he didn't, hurt the line, and there's some time to build the chemistry. But really, we're, maybe it's a Roy, maybe it's a Kapanen. Maybe they switch up Slafkovsky and put Laney on the first line and have Slafkovsky and Doc, who had great chemistry last season and preseason before the season started and he got injured. We'll see. I guess there's a lot of maybes, but what I can say is that I was very impressed with some of the players out there. I guess, looking at the pairing of Mailloux and Engstrom, I didn't feel like they were the strongest pairing. Mailloux is a rookie. Engstrom, that's one of his first, NHL level games. He looked great in preseason, as in training camp, as well as in the rookie camp. These are the big boys. These are the adults. We'll see how he goes. He probably looks like he needs some time in the American Hockey League. I'm still hopeful. He did look great in the rookie camp, and he didn't look terrible out there. I'm talking about Engstrom, but we'll see. And then, like I said, Mailloux was playing with him, which could have, Lane Hudson had the opportunity to play with a Savard. Mailloux did not, right? So that's not that Engstrom's not good, but he didn't have a veteran defenseman kind of backing him up, supporting him, and it kind of showed. I mean, he wasn't terrible out there, but he didn't look that comfortable. Jack Eye, had a few big hits, made a couple of small mistakes, but still looked solid. And Barron actually looked pretty good taking the puck up. He looked like Barron. I think he's improved. He's continuing to improve, and that's good for the Montreal Canadiens. So that was game 1. I don't believe the team has posted the lineup for game 2 yet. We can expect that Slafkovsky, Suzuki, and Caulfield will be in the lineup. We can suspect that Montembeault will be in nets. We can suspect that Matheson and Reinbacher will be in the lineup, as well as the Evans, Gallagher, and Armia line. I'm sure there's some other players like Machar and Beck that will get their opportunity. So excited for the game tomorrow. I believe they're playing the New Jersey Devils. But for game 1, a 5-0 win, a combined shutout for Primo and Dopish, some solid defense, 5 goals. Hudson looked great. Lane had great opportunities, didn't put the puck in the net, had 5 shots. Josh Anderson got off to Schneid to start the season with a nice pass from Roy. I guess on the negative side, I wasn't a huge fan of Dvorak tonight. He was fighting it a little bit. Newhook didn't look totally comfortable. He made some nice passes here and there, but didn't look totally comfortable on that line. Other than that, I mean, it was a good start to the season. So looking forward to more of these discussions and looking forward to the next shift with Rick Wagan. Suzuki does not suck. See you guys soon.